Excuse me, sir. Can you hear me? Sir! Bah. Excuse me, sir. Can you hear me? Alright. Let's do this thing. Hello, Internet. I am Gamer Penguin, and this is my first video, or at least the first video that made it up onto YouTube. This is my second check at making of a YouTube video. It's a preview episode, or just practice for me for a Minecraft Let's Play, as you can see. It is October 2013, I say for history. The 1.7 pre-release just came out yesterday or the day before. It's the 24th today. And I believe the proper 1.7 release... Whoops. The proper 1.7 release is supposed to come out this Friday. Once that happens, I'll start my proper Let's Play. This is just practice for me. Recording, talking, editing. So... this is my little village. It's a work in progress. They're always works in progress. This is my house. I'm a village builder. That's just how I play the game. That's how I roll. I like the villagers. I just do. I think they're cool and neat little people. There's one now. Hello. Whatever. So I like building little organic villages. I haven't had the patience in the past for big builds. This is my attempt at a library, which we'll talk about in a moment. I prefer to do something I can build in a day. So I tend to have a big village of small buildings. This is my take on the... this is based on the cobblestone church that generates naturally in villages. I just expanded the dimensions. This is the map of the village. Oh, back up. As you can see, I have a perimeter fence, keeps the zombies at bay. And this actually needs a bit of updating. That one. It's changed a little bit. That's not what I was after. Must be in this one. There you can see in the upper left-hand corner. You can see the little houses there that I just built recently, updating on the map. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so when I first built this thing, I used these upper floors for storage. That was before I built my house there. This was the first building I built in this little area. There was no village here naturally. I just chose the landscape and built the village in it. These floors were complete, and I used them for storage. I live down here. Once I built the house and took the storage out, I opened these floors up. Now I have no idea what to do with this place. I think it's a church, town hall kind of thing. The villagers tend to hang out in here, not so much anymore now that there are other buildings. This here is my house. It's actually based on the L-shaped house that spawns naturally in villages. So from here through this way... here is the footprint of the original L-shaped house. Then I just added another wing, and I jacked up the roof 1 block to give space for an attic, and this is where all my storage is now. Not all my storage. With 1.7 we got new wood coming out, we got stained glass, so I'm going to need a lot more storage. Excuse me. By the way, this is not my usual speaking voice, or maybe it is now. I work in a toy store. I've worked in a toy store for about 6 months now. Anybody who works with kids knows that if you work around kids, teachers, whatnot, anyone who works in hospitals, you work around kids, you're going to get sick, and chances are you're going to stay sick. So I've had a cold and a throat infection and all kinds of weird stuff for maybe the last month or so. So I'm drinking some hot water and honey while I'm recording this. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to start my timer. Okay. Oh, the rain stopped. Yeah. So a little bit of biography. I live in the Seattle area in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, so I really don't notice rain. I watch a lot of Minecraft Let's Plays, and people are always complaining about the rain. I'm like, huh? What? Oh. I like that in real life, too. I own an umbrella. It lives in my car, but I'm like, if you get wet, you'll dry off. These are my little street lights. I used to do, you can see they're just recessed. These are redstone lamps. I just popped them up a little bit to add a bit of texture to the place. Rose bushes out front. Before they added the rose bushes, I used to use netherwort because it looks kind of like roses. You stand back and squint a bit. Oh, sideways puppy. I have dogs too. There's Matilda and DOG. Yeah, take a second. It'll come to you. They're the breeding pair, and then I just have a bunch of dogs, a little pack of dogs. Well, they're scattered around right now. That I take with me when I go out into the world for defense. I'm also into villager breeding. This is a librarian I'm training up. He's got a nice paper tray, but he's moved past it, so I got to get a new one. I've also got this one here. There's his paper tray, and he's blown past that one already. But he's got a couple of really nice enchantments, which I don't really need anymore. And then this guy was a perfect farmer until there was a bug in one of the 1.7 snapshots where if you had a trade that had two components, gravel plus one emerald, and you would get this. The emerald would disappear, which was cool, and I'm perfectly happy to exploit it, but it also meant that the villager no longer considered, when the villager looks at all of its potential trades and decides what comes next, it sees this glitched trade as different from the proper trade with the emeralds. So I had... Oh. Yeah, you son of a such and such. There you go. Who's making noise? You. Knock back. And 2. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, that broke the villagers for a while, that glitch. They fixed it now, but I'm perfectly happy to keep some of the glitched out ones. I've got a priest enchanter up there. Here's my little diner. It's a 50s style diner. It's got quartz slabs and stairs up on top, and then diners in that style for some reason have this sort of corrugated metal around the edge, so these iron blocks simulate that, and then brick foundation. There's a butcher in here. These are furnaces to just sort of pen him in. I like using a trapdoor as this sort of counter door, which would normally flip open upwards, but it doesn't work like that in Minecraft. Then those are detector rails on top of furnaces to simulate stoves. I hope someday you can properly name villagers. Got a blacksmith here who might end up being perfect because he hasn't come up with his iron trade yet. But I just like having them. One of the big advantages of villager trading is it cuts way back on cuts way back on diamond mining and XP farming. This is my little zombie re-education chamber, re-education cell, which I have to move. I've expanded the perimeter fence, so. But this guy's a butcher. Might turn out useful. The butcher I have in the out there in the diner is not perfect, so if this guy turns out all right, I might swap him. This was the butcher shop, and I had a butcher in here once upon a time, and I removed him, and I can't remember why. Or maybe he glitched out. This is the chicken coop, which is too big and too tall. Here is the proper chicken farm. This is just for show. So part one, there's this pit, and there are chickens in it. They're actually standing on a hopper. And this design is based off of something I got from GenerikB over at the Mindcrack server. Very great Let's Play. How many chickens we got here? 100 or 200? 100? Whatever. A lot. Mine is a little more controlled than his was. He's updated his a bit, but the chickens are standing... rogue chicken. Chickens are standing up on top of that hopper, so they drop eggs into the hopper, which drops down into here. This is a dispenser. And every time one of them lays an egg, it goes into the dispenser, and it fires off this clock, which fires the dispenser. And then... So... so it fires eggs into this chamber, and then they're standing on a hopper, and so they are going to lay eggs in here as well. Let's collect all these, which I then manually dump in here. GenerikB's design has all of the eggs from this chamber feeding automatically directly back up into the upper chamber. Or is it into this chamber? One chamber or the other. I forget how he designed it exactly. But what that meant was it would just run constantly, and you would exponentially get more and more and more chickens. And they're starting to glitch out now. Mine, because you do it manually, you get a little more control. Also, I'm not on a multiplayer server, so I'm not going to worry about breaking the server. His at one point had 1,300 chickens. GenerikB's. So, mine's a little more controlled. I also don't need as many. His was for an XP farm, by the way. Mine is just for raw chicken for villager trading. I use these, I use the rail for moving the testificates around. I'm not great about it. This was a cactus farm, but I forgot to replant, and now I'm out of cactus. There's a desert off in that direction. There's some houses I built for the testificates. I would bring them in here with the rail and then trade through the windows. I don't do that anymore. This is the potion shop. This was funny and horrifying. When I first built this building, and this was a free build. I normally kind of test stuff out, something this big in creative. In this case, I didn't. I just free built this. I had the space, and I thought I'll use nether brick, and I'm quite fond of it. I like the little cross design in the window I came up with, in the not quite circular window, and then little beams out this way. Anyway, I had at one point 3 priests back behind that counter. When I first built it, it was an open space, and I had these the burning netherrack in all 4 corners. When I put this counter here, I took the netherrack out of the back, and I thought these would provide enough light. So I had 3 priests back behind this counter. You can see there are pumpkins there now. And I was trading with them, and the new trade required, I think it was an iron axe, to enchant an iron axe. So I ran from here over to my house, made an axe, came back here, and by the time I got back here, there was 1 regular zombie, 1 zombie villager, and nothing else. I was gone less than maybe 15 seconds, was all it took for 1 zombie to spawn behind the counter, kill 2 of the others, turn 1. And then I killed the 1 zombie and ran to get over in the conversion chamber, grab a potion and a golden apple, and I came back and the zombie villager had despawned. So I had to start from scratch. So that's why there are pumpkins back there now. The brewing station, 1 just has netherwort, and then the other you put your ingredients in 1 by 1. Here's the materials. And then you see it's sitting on top of an infinite spring. I like this effect of the fire in the window. I kind of wish it could be dark. I could half slab this floor, I suppose. Just houses I've built. I treat my testificates very well. Aw, the iron golem's trying to give this dude a flower. Anyway, I think that's adorable, by the way. So yeah, this is the basic testificate house. There's a bed that's sitting on wool blocks, and then the carpet here. Bookstand, nightstand, bookshelf, nightstand, and then a chest for their valuables, of which they have none. It's just for show. Then I'm experimenting with the tinted glass in the windows, and I'm still fiddling with the design of these, so 1 by 1 as I go along. Different colored glass. The ceiling in this one's a little different. It's got a trap door there. There's a skylight. And this one actually has a sort of chimney thing going on. And then the roofs are all either half slabs or, is it duplex? Half slabs or stairs, so nothing can spawn up there. Same is true in my house. Nothing can spawn up on top of there. Yeah, here's the duplex with, I really like the white stained glass. It looks like frosted glass, especially for something that's windows at ground level, at eye level. It gives a bit of privacy. I don't have that on my house. I have nothing to hide. I am not ashamed. Also, I don't actually spend much time in the house. So, let's start... Ah! So this is the library, and this was going to be the library. There's no actual books in here. All these leaves were supposed to be replaced little by bookshelves, and then there would be an enchanting table here. The way I designed this was actually by hand on graph paper, and I just started with enchanting table. Okay, you need blocks here, and then books here. And then you have this outer row of books, and then I built the thing, and it looks really awful. I tried to dress it up a little. You can see the columns here. I really like the quartz columns, and I really like this when you stand in the middle and look up through like a tower of books to the glass dome, which I'm also really fond of. Unfortunately, all that only calls attention to the fact that this is still just a big, great box. And one of the reasons I want to do this series, and one of the things I want it to focus on, is me improving as a builder. I've got a design and creative that I really want to start working on in the new world. In fact, that might be the first thing I do. Well, no, it requires quartz, so I'd have to go to the nether right away. But yeah, I really want to work on this window's offset because of the ladder up to the second floor. There's a little observation tower, which I have scattered around. Actually, no, this might be the only one left. Get a bird's eye view of the... This is my wheat farm. Bird's eye view of the town. I really like looking down through this glass ceiling, glass dome, and seeing the leaves in there. So I might try... I'm going to try some kind of conservatory or... greenhouse or just an indoor tree farm or something with that aesthetic. This is my wheat field, which is enormous. I don't bother harvesting all of this. It's sort of a show. I got this idea from B00, this B00 Building with B00 series, which is one of my favorites. And I never thought of wheat just for decoration, for landscaping purposes of wheat going out to the horizon. There's an ocean out there. Oh, there's another little observation tower. That hut, I'll hit F3 here, you can see my coordinates. This is where it started at 0, 0, which is off in that direction. I just walked and walked and walked until I found a site that I really liked. When I got here, this little hut was the first thing I built, and I stuck some vines up on it since, and give it that kind of abandoned look. I keep waving my hand or whatever's in my hand there. But yeah, I like that, and that was my chicken farm. So what else did we cover? Oh, let's look at the... Oh, I know what we'll do. You can accompany me on some of my errands. I have to shear the sheep. Oh, hungry. Ag. Yeah, wood button. Got a longer tick, I know. Shears. Is it me or are the dogs more whiny than they were long ago? It seems like they whine, more than they bark. It seems like they were a little more independent back in the day. Anyway, there's one of my mules. This little shed connects to the underground rail system, which I don't actually use all that much. It only actually connects to one thing, which we'll show you soon enough. Here are the sheep. I've found that sheep try to escape more than other animals. I see that one just tried to climb over here. So I sink the sheep pen down 2 blocks instead of 1. You'll see my other ones over there. Drop down 1. There's one in every family. So once I decided I would have sheep and then just dye all the sheep the same color, I decided that there would be one sheep that is always a different color, and his name is Carlos, and I don't know why. Don't ask, it's just a completely random whim. The only Carlos I know is actually a girl whose last name is Carlos, so it's not based on anybody I know. I just like the idea that his name is Carlos. I like the name Carlos, too. Nice thing about having this many sheep is it's sort of infinite, because by the time you're done shearing them, one or two have eaten some grass. You can hear them chomping. So you could theoretically go on forever doing this. And then I use this for villager trading, and I just keep it around. I don't build with wool. Just the concept of building with wool annoys me, even though it has all the structural integrity. Well, I guess it doesn't. I wouldn't build with wool in the nether. But, yeah, see? I could theoretically stay in this pen more or less forever. You don't want to overdo it. Hey, Carlos. It's something I like to do every time I finish shearing the sheep, is to try and find Carlos. He's the only named sheep. Gotta cut that off sometime. So that's the sheep. Oh, there's one more farm here. When I was digging out the sheep pen, I found this little grotto underneath, which I use for the squid farm. Oh, there's only one in here. There are usually more. I've seen like 5 or 6 of them spawn in here. What are we doing on time? About halfway through an episode. I'm going to try and keep episodes to maybe half an hour, no more than 45 minutes. Here's my mule. He has a clock and a bed on him. I always carry a bed, and then I can just build a house wherever I am if I need to sleep through the night. Here are the animal pens. Cows. Wheat in the box. Pigs. Carrots in there. That's fairly basic. There's a little... When I built this, there's a little water... Or no, I had to build it from scratch because I sunk this down a block. A little mud hole for them to wallow in. Cactus farm and Infinite Spring I used to build the cactus farm. Oh, the watchtowers. I built these watchtowers. They're sort of more elaborate versions of the observation pillars. This was the first one. And again, I use them for getting a view. That pillar there marks the ladder that used to go down to my branch mining operation. Again, with the waving of the sword. Here are the stables. These pillars are for jump testing. None of these horses are good jumpers. In fact, I don't think any of them can even get above like 3. And that one hurt himself, for crying out loud. Wrong button. There's my one donkey. His name is Odie. I don't have a name tag for him. And then... Oh, there's the other one. Here's my stud, Mr. Shine. Him Diamond. That's a really obscure reference in the States. It might be more recognizable in England. And then... Yeah, all of the others are... All the other horses, in my mind, are female, so I'll breed with one or the other to get more horses or mules. The mules are more or less disposable. I don't like it when they die, but I don't like taking named horses out into the world. I like mules and donkeys for the storage. It means it's less time I gotta spend traveling back and forth between home base and wherever I am. There's the latest watchtower. Every time I build one, I tweak the design a little bit. It's sort of an expansion of the little watchtower. Sunset. It spawns naturally in the village. The little watchtower with the fence up along the top is pumpkin farm, of course. I love when the pumpkins grow with this thing in their nose. It's a nice little lake flat out there. When I start the new world, like I always planned to do more stuff in this world, but for the Let's Play, since I decided to try a Let's Play, I really want to work with a new world. So there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do here that probably won't get done, but we'll start from scratch. So this is the watchtower design as it is now. I've got the gates in the windows instead of, fence in the window instead of glass. For windows, actually I could put a gate in here. I don't have any gates on me. I don't have anything on me. I don't know why I keep checking my inventory. Anyway, these fencing are in here for... The idea is that they shoot arrows through here. You can't shoot arrows. I don't think you can. Nope. Nope. Anyway. It would be cool if you could shoot arrows through here. Like arrow slits in old castles. And then up here... My idea, I guess, is that there are 2 or 3 guards and they sleep in shifts. So there'd be one person sleeping and then one person up here actually standing guard. And then I like using the nether brick fencing in conjunction with the stone brick. And then this little pillar here just gets us up sort of above the view level of the fence. So I can... Ha! I really hate creepers. Everybody hates creepers, but I really hate creepers. So my parents are from the Washington, D.C. area, right outside Washington, D.C. Anybody who knows that area knows the Bethesda subway metro station has this ridiculously long escalator down to from the street level. That's what this is meant to mimic. I remember going down that escalator when I was a kid when we would go into the city for tourism reasons. For tourism reasons. That sounds rather vague. For tourism, we'd go and look at stuff. Ah, missed it. Oh well, there's a hill. Enderman! Come on, come on. Come on, come on. There we go. Here we are. It's the one and only stop on this subway system. And it is, you can hear him. Yep, zombie farm. It's pretty automated. I was really proud of this design when I came up with it. And it's designed for zombie conversion as much as zombie farming. So you get the lights that'll theoretically, it doesn't completely shut it off, but it lowers the drop rate quite a bit. And then turn the lights back off, and there we go. But yeah, the way this is designed is for zombie villager conversion. You can see, yeah, you can see that little redstone lamp. That's the door. And the ditty I came up with to no, just turn it back on. Light off. Open. Whoops. I was really proud of the redstone design I came up with for this door, which is made up of pistons. The way it works is from the inside, there's nothing that would interfere. There are no blocks sticking out or anything like that. And then it opens up. Looking at you. Then it opens up and it gives you a straight shot chamber. And then there's this other door that closes the cobblestone at the other end. So anyway, I don't use that conversion much anymore. The zombie re-education center in the village is a lot easier. And then here, these are half slabs, so the idea is nothing can spawn in here. And this lagoon was natural. Quick check for monsters. I keep the light levels low in here because the light level here up through the glass affects the light level up above, which affects how well this thing works, the efficiency of the spawning. The reason this is glass is because it amuses me. Yeah, not much more to say about that. Nothing going on at the moment, but if we wait... Come on. You're making me look like a fool! Oh, I know what's going on. The water's not on. So, now the water's going, so now we'll get some zombies falling. Yeah, it's funny to me, yeah, to stand here and watch them fall to their doom. But the way the light affects the light level in the chamber is a problem. I'll definitely make this again. I call this the Institute for Zombie Studies, to cover up the fact that it's basically an abattoir. But yeah, there's another one. When I recreate this in my new world, I'll actually have this just as stone or something opaque so it doesn't affect the light levels, and then just have a viewing chamber underneath here that's glass. Then the light won't reach up that far. This is the safe room. Arrgh. I tend to enchant. I don't enchant much anymore at all. I'm a book enchanter, So there's fire protection, smite 5. As I understand it, with the new zombie mechanics, the more times you hit, every time you hit one, there's the chance that it'll call for, it'll summon more zombies. So with smite 5, you only hit it once, that reduces that chance. Then here are the kind of books you're getting out of chests and whatnot nowadays. Protection 3, power 4, which is completely useless. Well, it's not useless, but you can't get anything on there. It's my timer going off, which you probably heard. I use an I have an omnidirectional microphone, so it'll pick up if a little background noise. It's my computer humming. I actually have to turn the fans down when I record. So there's enchanting, and I got books. So this goes all the way up to 30. That's right, that doesn't work. Ender chest. So it's my brewing station, which is not fully automatic. As I showed you before, there's this natural lagoon that I found back here when I was hollowing the space out. So I just fill bottles there, dump in this chest, which feeds them into the back of the brewing stand. And then I put... This thing full? Yeah. And then I just take one of each ingredient for the splash healing potions to kill the zombies. And then just put them in this hopper in order, and then it automatically goes through them. It's not a lot of work, so I'll very quickly go down here and show you the killing floor. Yep. Which is like so. I got this, hang on. Ah, blessed peace. Yeah. This half slab here now keeps the baby zombies from getting out of there. They can fit through 1 block holes now. That's in there. That's full of zombie flesh. So let's head back to the town. There's one more thing I want to show you for this episode. And got to kind of push this back by hand and then hit the button. There. So, when you do villager trading, actually I should talk about this road because it was sort of the central point of my, when I originally settled here, kind of my big idea. So I'd have this road, and this goes sprinty. I've done a bit of work here. This I would have filled in. I may still. These floating platforms of dirt absolutely drive me nuts. I never got around to fixing that. This I like, this little outcropping. And I want to build a watchtower up on top of there. And as it gets to water, hang on, let me reload the world. There we go. You see this road leads to a beach. I like beaches. I was at the beach not too long ago. Drove from where I live out to the ocean coast of Washington State. Looked at the Pacific Ocean. I did more than just sit there and look at it. I had lunch in the little town. Anyway, here's this bay, and then I was going to put a lighthouse there, which I might as like a dry run. In the new world, I definitely want it to be on water. I like working with water. But there's another reason. There's something I really like doing here. If you do a lot of villager trading, one of the one of the big mediums of trade is paper with the librarian villagers, and then I would have a dirt road here. Well, paper comes from reeds, and here are reeds. Here are lots of reeds. This is my reed farm, and kind of get a better view of it from up here. But you can see the sheer scale of it. I like lots of things, and with reeds you can kind of expand out like this because they don't have because you don't have to replant. It's a lot easier to deal with huge yields. This leads down to my nether portal, which we'll visit next episode. The way the reed farm works, I've got lily pads over the water, so you can just, like so, channeling B00 there, just lawnmower right through all this stuff, or you can just stand in the middle and do this. That's fun. So, we will call that, I'm going to call that an episode. With a bit of judicious editing, that should be able to get down to about half an hour. So I'm going to do at least one more preview episode, which will cover the Nether, and I have a witch farm and a fishing hut off in that direction. We'll go visit that. But that'll do it for the day. So I am Gamer Penguin. If you like this, I welcome comments. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, that would help fill time while I'm building things down the road. Any ideas for what you want to see in a series, feel free to let me know in the comments. I will see you next time. Whee! Ah! Oh God! I regret nothing! Tell the next guy's wife I love her! What?